Welcome to the 8-Bit Cat Show, a place where friends geek out over the nerdy things we love, sometimes with cats. I'm your host, Stephanie Katz. With us tonight, Ziak,
Hello.
Peter,
Alright.
and Tom.
Heyo.
Heyo. We got another episode of the Book of Boba Fett. Tom, are you caught up?
No,
No.
I
Excellent.
work a lot.
It's okay. You didn't miss an episode of the Book of Boba Fett. You just missed the first episode of the next season of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It was a very Mando-centric episode. It actually was kind of neat.
So, I'm not... I don't know how I feel about it.
Like it.
It's not okay. It's not that it was a bad episode. Like I definitely enjoyed it. Just I don't know how appropriate it was because this is supposed to be the Book of Boba Fett. Isn't this only isn't this only 6 episodes? Does anyone know?
I think so. Hold on.
But yeah, but guess what? When the fucking Mandalorian shows up with his full arsenal and a brand new ship, he's gonna fuck up the Pike Syndicate. So they only need one episode to just murder them all.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
It is just a 6-episode thing. And it makes sense that Boba would go to Din for help with this.
I'm not upset that he went to Din for help. I'm just
Did you just want to see more of him playing with the Rancor?
it's so the way they set it up is you have this whole the entire episode was all about Mando, and basically it's fast forwarded from Luke picking up Grogu, and it is fast forwarded now to he has the Darksaber, he's in some random town and he's fucking some people up, right?
Yeah.
And he ends up finding the last
Culvert.
3 people left in the culvert, one of them being the armorer, and
One of them also being him.
no, I thought he said there were 2. I thought they said 2 or 3.
There are 3 of us now after they found Din.
Oh, whatever. So,
So
the exact line is, there's 3 of us now, we'll put you to work soon.
So
the point is that so it went through all of this, him finding that, Vis whatever his name is, getting upset that Din has the Darksaber, them Vizsla going through a whole duel, and you go through the whole episode, and it's not until the last 1 minute of the episode that Shennik Fang shows up to be like, oh, we want to hire you to come help us, and Din's like, oh, it's on the house, but first I have to go take care of something, referring to he wants to go find Grogu.
Visit Grogu.
Huh?
He seems to know where Grogu is.
Yeah, he wants to visit Grogu, find Grogu, whatever. So the point is, so then why did we go through this whole episode? What is episode 6 just gonna pick up after Din has gone and found Grogu, and then is it all gonna be like what? Just the setup was really weird, and it didn't make any sense to me.
they
What the
wanted
fuck
you
did
to
I
not
look
forget
into?
why you
It
were
was
there.
just explaining why Din would be helping out Boba Fett. We didn't really know what the hell was going on with him at the end of Mandalorian Season 2 after Grogu's taken away. As far as we knew, he was suddenly the Mandalorian chosen one, destined to be the next Mandalore, which he still kind of seems to be, but it's no longer like a set thing. So like, here's an explanation of how he got a ship, because the Razor Crest got fucked. And
It was giving you all the quick stuff so that they can just dive right into it when we actually get back to the Mandalorian.
exactly.
Too.
I would expect the next episode to be a brief explanation of what he needs to do and a lot of action.
Yeah,
Right, but then where is season 3 of Mandalorian picking up? Like,
Who
are we
knows?
gonna find out?
It'll probably pick up. I doubt they're even gonna show Grogu, like the visit to Grogu. They're most likely just gonna pick up with him trying to go to Mandalore to get to the waters under the caves or whatever and redeem himself.
Yeah, like
They
it's
set
just
up
there's
his
a
plot
whole.
for season 3 in this episode.
And I'm sure we'll get some flashbacks to Grogu in season 3 as well.
What I mean is, like, I don't think that they're gonna show specifically the visit. I think they're just gonna.
Actually, I think they will. The first episode will probably start out him in
Oh, you
space,
think so?
going to Mandalore, and then it'll flash back just like they've been doing with the back to tanks with Boba Fett, and it'll go like, oh, this is him dropping off his chainmail to a tiny little green bastard.
Got it.
It's
Fair
his
enough.
bastard though.
His little tiny green bastard.
Yeah, I'm completely
That
lost.
still will be an adolescent by the time that Din dies.
So chapter 5 was basically all a episode about Mando and really not about Boba Fett.
At all, yeah. Fennec Shan shows up right at the end to go, hey, we need some help. You want to shoot some dudes? And he's like, yeah, sure. I'll shoot some dudes for free for you any day.
The fuck?
Well, for Boba, I don't think it was necessarily for Fennec.
I think he likes Fennec too.
Because he kind of only confirmed that he would do it for free once he realized Boba was involved. When it was just her, he was like, who am I killing? And taking the money.
Then he was like, yeah, I'll do it for free.
Go ahead, Tom.
So you're trying to kill Boba Fett?
No, he's
No, so at the end of episode 4, Boba and Fennec have a conversation about how they need to build an army because the Pike Syndicate, against the Pikes. And Fennec's like, how much treasure do we have? Because money can buy manpower.
No.
So then you jump into chapter 5, which is basically what we explained. It's a Mando-centric episode, and the last minute of the episode is Fennec at that lady that Mando always goes to fix his ship on Mos Eisley.
I forget her name, but she's played by Amy Sedaris.
Yeah. Fennec showing up there and being like, basically like, hey, I got a job for you. And he's like, what is it? And Fennec's like, Boba Fett needs some help. And he's like, okay, it's on the house, but I have to go do something first. Referring to the fact that before the duel between him and Vizsla, he asked the armorer to melt down the Beskar spear and make something for Grogu, which we didn't see what it is, but we're assuming it's kind of like tiny little chainmail.
It's more likely a necklace with the emblem on it.
So there's 2 quests that Mando has set up right now. The first quest is he wants to go visit Grogu and give him this gift, and the second quest is after at the end of the duel, the armor breaks them up and is like, Vizsla, have you ever removed your helmet or had your helmet removed from you? And he goes, no. And she goes, this is the way. And then she goes to Din, have you ever removed your helmet or had it removed from you? And he stays silent. She repeats the question. He stays silent. And again, and they're like, basically, you've been dishonored and you are expelled from the covert. And he's like, I'm sorry. How do I redeem myself? And they're like, the only way you can redeem yourself is to go to the mines and go in the water under Mandalore or something. And they're like, but the mines were destroyed in the Purge and all of this stuff. And they're like, well, that's the only way you can redeem yourself, so figure it the fuck out. So
you let him keep the Darksaber. Sorry, continue.
Well, yeah, because he technically won the duel.
Yeah, but they no longer view him as Mandalorian.
Yeah, but he still won it in combat, so if they get it from him and it wasn't in combat.
Plus, it seems like the armor seems to prefer the idea of Din having that and being the weird Mandalorian chosen one.
Yeah,
she kind of likes it.
So at the end of chapter 5, it's unclear if he's just going to do one of these quests, if he's doing both of these quests, or what it is he has to go do before he can come help Boba. So,
I didn't think it was super unclear because he says, I'm going to go see a little friend and then I'll be back.
Oh, is that what he says? Okay, yeah, so he's going to visit.
I gotta go see a little friend first.
Yeah, he's gonna go drop off the little armor he got for him.
But it still poses the question. This is only a 6-episode series, so what's happening in episode 6, and then where does Mandalorian season 3 pick up?
Mandalorian season 3 will most likely pick up with him trying to go to Mandalore to redeem himself.
Yeah, that's what we thought. But no, we agree. But yeah, no, it is a little weird. But yeah, he's just gonna go make a quick trip. I don't know.
I guess I was content with this because, for a bit after episode 3, I was like, I'm a little bored. I kind of want something to actually happen in this fucking show. So having Din show up and fuck shit up immediately was a lot of fun.
I did like there was a nice bit of exposition with the armor, really explaining the difference between the Bo-Katan Mandalorians and their group of Mandalorians, that they really are Death Watch, and they're like, we were on the Concordia moon, that's how we survived the Purge. I'm like, oh, this is a lot of exposition, but I'm actually really glad to have this information. Thank you very much for making it very clear,
quite a bit,
precise, and set out. I enjoyed that part. Din fucking stuff up with both the when he had both the spear and the darksaber going on at the same time. It was pretty fucking legit. I mean, he hurt himself, but it's still legit.
Well, yeah, that's presumably just a reference to the old shit where it's like, if you're not a Force user and you're trying to use a lightsaber, you're gonna fuck up.
Well, yeah, you have to still be in tune with the blade.
Yeah, in like the opening sequence, he's like trying to fuck someone up, and he totally burns the fuck out of his leg with it.
Oh yeah, he messes himself up. But sure. I don't know. So the coolest part of that visually is that he's tracking down a bounty, and he comes outside. Well, but actually, I think that's the opening shot, isn't it? He's on a ring world, like a Larry Niven original 1950s ring world.
That fucking Halo, yeah.
No, that every other ring-based space station is based off of is Larry Niven and Ring World, and this definitely is more of a ring world because it's even got the same the blocks up there,
layered and shit. Yeah,
and it's got the blocks that are actually doing the day-night cycle, and I don't think it's quite as big as a Larry Niven Ring World, but it's still pretty big. I don't think it had 3.5 trillion square miles of livable space.
Probably not, no.
Because the ring world is nuts.
Yeah.
This looked like it was more like a Dyson sphere that was just a ring.
Either way, I did like that visual.
Oh no, it was awesome.
My mind immediately went to Halo rather than Ring World.
So did his.
Well, no, it definitely went to Halo 4, but as soon as I started looking at the details, I'm like, well, yeah, it looks like Halo because Halo was ripping off Ring World. And but there was specific details on it, like it said, it has the giant blocks that are actually simulating the day-night cycle and doing stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, they're definitely trying to go for a Ring World thing. They're like, we want to do classic sci-fi, not admittedly great stuff that I also love. I love Halo, but yeah, they're definitely trying to bring it to the classics on that one. I loved it. It looked great. I'll give them that. And then the other cool thing was the N1 fucking Starfighter.
Oh yeah.
It's a classic. I don't know. I just love her trying to sell him a piece of junk. It's really what it is. She also is like, I think I can make this thing a little fun, but I do love that it looks like a hot rod. It's got the whole manifolds sticking out of the front. It looks like it's got a carburetor on it.
Right.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And apparently hauls some ass.
Yeah.
I did like that. How did he make the jump to light speed? He didn't spool up his hyperdrive. He goes, no, man, those are his sublight engines. Apparently this trip to go see Grogu is going to be pretty quick.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's going to have to be, I imagine.
I think he's going to be able to make it a pretty quick thing. I did like how it was basically all chromed out. I kind of want him to chrome it all out and really just make it look like his armor.
Yeah, there was a few little yellow bits.
There's still a couple of yellow bits left. I'm like, at least get it brown or the bluish weird color that you have in the back there. I don't know. Do something. Get rid of the yellow.
Well, it kind of makes sense design-wise. You usually want to break up solid colors like that. So I think I do prefer it having that. In the same way that the Raven's Crest wasn't pure chrome, it had marks.
But that's what I'm saying. But they weren't yellow. They were all brown, and they looked like his original armor before he got upgraded.
Yeah.
Before he got all that Beskar for some shady shit.
Yeah, kidnapping a child.
Hey, he gave it back. Well, no, he really didn't. He continued to kidnap it.
Different person.
He kidnapped it harder. You're right. He doubled down on the kidnapping on that one.
Yeah.
But I do also love that she, because Din obviously hates droids so much. I like that she took out the droid port and she's like, yeah, we all know who this is going to sit here. Yeah, we all know what this is for. Nobody else is going to fit in there. There aren't any other children you're hanging out with in space. It's going to be a little green dude sitting right here. All right. I hope she gave him a turret gun or something. I just want him to be able. I just want to see Grogu in the back just shooting people down.
And then, and Han Solo, I believe, is supposed to show up next episode.
Han Solo?
Han Solo.
It would be a little funny if he shows up also helping Boba Fett. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because when you think about it, there's no real reason for these two characters to actually hate
dislike
each other. At least not on Boba's part, at least. It's mostly just like, yeah, I was hired to capture you.
Han should be a little pissed, I think. He's like, you didn't have to freeze me in fucking carbonite.
It's like, you kept running away. This is how you stop running away.
He's like, okay, you did get me fair and square. You're not the asshole. Jabba's the asshole. You're cool.
Exactly.
Man. Thanks for not killing me. Actually, there's that. You didn't murder me.
Because that was like a rivalry for a while, I think, in the extended universe books. But even that goes away after a while. Boba Fett is, by the end of his run in the books, is a heroic character.
Well, yeah, I think they're trying to do that too. They're turning him into a heroic character now.
I think doesn't he die of like Sarlacc pit cancer?
Probably. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on who you read.
Right. He falls into that thing like 4 times too. Like, it's ridiculous.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
One day.
One more day. One day more.
Okay. So we watched Good Omens. We got through the first season. You watched it, Peter?
Oh yeah. I think I told you all about this before I moved. Like, it was a really good fucking show.
Oh, I don't know. Tom, you watched it?
I've already watched it when it first came out.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, we finally watched it.
We're a little behind. Season 2 is supposed to come out soon, if I remember correctly.
It's currently in production, I believe.
Yeah.
I love David Tennant's Crowley's sassy walk.
You just like looking at David Tennant's butt is what I'm getting from that answer there.
You never see his butt. What are you talking about?
Not his bare butt.
I will say real quick, it is a really good show. It got a lot of the book, but it did still have to cut some stuff out. If y'all have an Audible account, much like the Sandman stuff, they have done Good Omens with the original TV cast coming in to do their roles.
Nice.
The whole thing, so you get all the missing bits.
The book is great.
Yeah.
I like Terry Pratchett though, and paired up with Neil Gaiman isn't a bad thing, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked all the wigs that they put on. They put on David Tennant. The wigs made me like really happy.
They were something special. There were some great actors in it too, though. I obviously David Tennant's in there, and then everything like that. But I didn't know John Hamm was in it, so that caught me by surprise. John Whitehall, who I love Jack Whitehall. I think it actually is technically John Whitehall. I think Jack's just short.
Jack is an alternate of John.
Like I said, I think it is just short. But Jack Whitehall's in it, and I love his stand-up, and he was great as the witch hunter in this. And I'm like, okay. All right, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I didn't like how they did the voice for Death. It didn't feel like reading capital letters. That was my only problem with it. Because that's really that's what it is. You're reading the capital letters in your head, and it didn't have the emphasis to me of capital letters when he was speaking. I don't know. More Neil Pratt.
I think my favorite moment was when Aziraphale accidentally steps into the circle, and then you just see him go, fuck.
An angel saying fuck is always funny.
Right. Always cool.
So, yeah. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to season 2.
It's a really good show, and a really good book.
Yeah.
By a really good author.
In a really good series of books.
All right.
Next up, Marvel announced that not that it's a surprise giving Matt Murdock's
appearance in No Way Home.
Yeah, so they've announced that they are doing a new Daredevil series with him.
That will now coincide with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I guess.
Is that decanonizing the Netflix one? Because as far as I was aware, that was still part of it.
I think it's... Let me open this real quick, because I don't remember if it said it was... I don't think it's decanonizing.
From the canon yet.
What?
I don't think any of those shows have been blatantly removed from the canon yet. They all still occurred, as far as I'm aware.
Sort of, yeah.
They were just such like low level shit. You didn't ever see the Avengers dealing with it.
So the exact words in this article are the series will start anew after ending last year and will follow on from two spin-off narratives, Devil's Reign and Daredevil Woman Without Fear. The series sees multiple Daredevils take to Hell's Kitchen, and with the mantle of Daredevil now more precarious than ever, the new series from Zdarsky and Chiquetto will see the return of Matt Murdock, Elektra, Nachios, and the iconic Marvel villain Kingpin.
Elektra Nachios.
I guess I don't think I ever knew Elektra's last name. Nachos. Elektra Nachos.
Can you link that to me real quick just to make sure?
It's in the show notes.
Okay.
What?
That's from a website I would trust.
I mean, I might have.
It's not that. It's
I might have
something...
pronounced it wrong.
No. I'm not saying you said the name wrong.
He's checking the comic book runs to see which ones those are actually ours, to see if he wants to see this show.
Well, no, because
It said Woman Without Fear, yes.
There is a currently, like, it just started recently, a Daredevil comic where Elektra is now one of two Daredevils. And it's like, are they just straight adapting a currently ongoing comic?
That's apparently what they're doing.
Is this article just confusing and it's not about a TV show, but it's about a comic?
So is Elektra blind? She was a blind, right?
No, she's
Blind
just
with
trained
him?
by the same people.
I believe it said it was a spin-off based on.
I don't know. Now we're doing our research in the show. All right.
See, that's just weird because I thought Daredevil was supposed to be blind, and that was the whole they
changed it a while ago because originally it was like, oh, he got blinded by some radioactive flooge or whatever.
It's the same goo that in fact made the. It's in fact the same one that made the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Sure, let's go with that.
It's the same ooze. I swear to God.
But they actually changed that a lot later to be that because Matt was trained by Stick, that's where he got more of his abilities. And since Elektra was actually the student that was trained before Matt, she's kind of on that same level.
It's true. Oh no. Yeah. No. Apparently, this is just about a comic, or is about the new comic runs.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Whatever.
I thought I was fucking crazy.
It's a very poorly written article designed to get clicks because it definitely seems like the first part of the because literally the first sentence talks about Charlie Cox's revival as Matt Murdock in the Marvel universe, and then goes, let's talk about comics, and buries the comics part of that like halfway through a sentence, and you're like, okay. Come on, guys.
That's what I thought because you were talking about it, and it's like, oh, from last year. It's like, well, Daredevil ended like 3 years ago, so that doesn't make any fucking sense.
My bad.
No Way Home was just like 2 months ago.
Like, I read stuff, I'm tired, what do you want from me?
I thought it was interesting, but no, apparently it is just not just but it is comics instead of...
Well, let's talk about something more dumb.
More dumb than that?
There's a couple fans that are trying to sue Universal because in the trailer for the movie yesterday, it showed this actress Ana de Armas.
Ana de Armas, yeah.
Was supposed to be in it, and she was supposed to be the love interest for the main character. But apparently, when the final movie came out, they scrapped that whole storyline. So these fans are suing Universal because they paid basically $4 on Amazon Prime to see this movie, and this actress was nowhere to be found. So they're filing a $5 million lawsuit on behalf of all the people that paid to see this movie for that actress who was not in it.
They're suing them for false advertising.
Yeah, for false advertisement.
Yep. Because they would not have rented the movie had Ana de Armas not been in it, because they had just watched No Time to Die, and she features heavily in that. They're like, well, maybe she'll be in this one, and we'll get to see her do other stuff.
Well, is it maybe she was going to be in this one, or did they
in
the trailer?
She does feature pretty prominently in the trailer. I'm going to give them that.
Yeah.
She does feature pretty prominently in the trailer, and then they cut her part completely, and she's not in the movie at all.
But they could have just as easily asked Amazon for a refund.
But yeah, now they want to sue them
For $5 million. for a $4 rental.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to go well. But hey, there's always a chance. Especially in California.
I'm pretty sure movie trailers have disclaimers that like this might not reflect the final product, but I'm more curious as to why her part got cut.
Because when they screened it, or tested it or whatever, the love story didn't test well. So they decided to remove it from the storyline.
So essentially, a lot of people really like this actress, and were hoping to see more of her, and then didn't, and threw a fit. Got it.
What they're saying is that the two leads of this movie, which are mostly known for indie projects, weren't they claimed that the studio knew that they did not have the clout to pull the movie to the forefront of people's minds. So they put Ana de Armas in there a bunch in the trailer because like, hey, it's a hat girl. Maybe they'll do that. Ana de Armas, she's great. Everybody loves her.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, actually.
Like I said, so that's why they are suing. I still don't think they're gonna win because there's been stuff like this before, but they're like, it's a trailer.
The trailers don't always reflect the final product. There's a lot of things that get cut from trailers.
And that's basically that. There's one other case that's been brought that's of this nature. It's back in 2011. That you guys remember the Ryan Gosling movie Drive?
Yeah.
I do not.
Well, it was actually a really intense movie, like with lots of drama and everything like that. But the way they marketed it, it kind of looked like another Fast and the Furious. And so somebody tried to sue over that. They're like, well, I thought it was going to be a high-intensity driving action movie, just like Fast and the Furious. But I had to sit through long bouts of interpersonal drama and growth, and then also graphic violence. And it did have some pretty graphic violence.
It's amazing no one's trying to sue Disney over Encanto for the same thing. Because the trailers really made it look like that was going to be like a globe-trotting adventure. They never leave that town in Encanto.
They never leave the house.
Really? No, they leave the house a little.
They go down the road like 15 feet. I was also a little disappointed in that. I'm like, it's his fucking room? What? What?
Or just parts of Luis's like song as well. Just like, no, sorry, you're not going to a weird tropical island. It all takes place in this town.
Or in your mind.
It's a weird tropical area. Mythical.
Colombia.
Whatever. Anyway.
I don't know. It was actually, I really ended up liking that movie. So.
Oh, it's a really good movie. It's just,
I will say,
it is kind of tough. Hell, I think there's still technically I don't know if this might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's still a trailer for Amazing Spider-Man 2 that had Mary Jane in it before they decided to cut it apart.
Oh yeah, like I said, it happens all the time. So yeah. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but it is kind of funny that they are actually fucking suing over it instead of just like, can I have my money back because I didn't like this movie?
All right.
They probably would have got their money back. I don't think they're going to get the $5 million.
Anyway, on to gaming news. So Lucas Games and Respawn Entertainment
amazing.
Wonderful.
They are things, yes.
They're working on Star Wars games.
Yeah, because I was going to say announced, but I was like, I don't think announced is the word that I'm looking for. But anyway, so we already kind of knew that the Jedi Fallen Order sequel has been in the works, but they are also working on a Star Wars FPS and a Star Wars strategy type game that is out there in the ether now. So that was.
I mean, did it say strategy type game?
I couldn't remember if it said RTS.
I mean, there's been some really solid Star Wars RTSs already.
Yeah, so. I can't remember if it said it was an RTS or what.
Looking at currently Untitled Star Wars first-person shooter.
And it just says strategy game.
Yeah, it just says strategy game.
Yeah, it's the studio will also be making a currently untitled Star Wars first-person shooter and is partnering with BitReactor, a recently announced team founded by former developers from XCOM Studio for Axis Games on a strategy game.
Okay.
That is, yeah.
A strategy game, unfortunately, can mean quite a bit.
So yes, and that's Tom. That's your nightmare because they literally did not even announce a game. They just announced announcing that I think we're gonna work on a game.
No, they're working on it. They're just stuff that's in the works right now.
So we have 3 new Star Wars titles.
Just
wait for
well,
them.
from Lucas Games and Respawn, because there's also that game Eclipse they just teased. But I don't think that's by Respawn. I think that's being done by a different...
It is.
Yeah, different company.
There's a lot of Star Wars games coming up, but that Fallen Order was fantastic.
I like how this article literally says, other than that, there are few details on any of the games, including any information on when they may be released or on what platforms.
I mean, at this point, you can hardly blame Respawn. There are a lot of articles. Like, we literally just fell victim to a clickbait article, and that is definitely what this is. Oh, hey, there's 3 new Star Wars games in the work. Oh, cool. You gonna tell me what they are? No.
No.
There's just 3 of them in the works.
No.
Could be like a decade before they release.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? Whatever. So,
I'm not saying I'm not happy, but I'm just saying,
look,
damn you.
I'm not like mad like Tom gets at this kind of stuff, but it's just I'm more mad that the article is trying to pretend to be more than it is.
Yeah, I mean, the quote from the Respawn founder was, "We are huge fans of Star Wars here at Respawn. We're thrilled to work with Lucas Games on a new title that we've wanted to make for years. How long will it take to make that game?"
I mean, this isn't the article that I heard this from. This was just found an article to put on the show notes so that you guys could kind of take a look at what I was talking about. But I know everyone here likes Star Wars, and I just wanted to...
Well, I'm not excited. Respawn made a really fucking good Star Wars game, so I'm excited.
Amazing.
But I can't be very excited considering we really don't know what these are going to be.
Look,
a
at
strategy
the time,
game vary from like World of Warcraft.
Of making the notes, we hadn't got the big announcement that we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. So I was just trying to pad something so we had something to talk about. Okay, guys? God.
She wanted you to be prepared.
So happy February, which means we get free games if you are an Xbox Games with Gold member or a PlayStation Plus member. So Xbox Games with Gold for February, available from February 1st to February 28th. Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Curse. Available from February 16th to March 15th. Aerial Knights Never Yield. From February 1st to February 15th. Hydrophobia. And from February 16th to the 28th, A Band of Bugs. I'm not familiar with any of these games.
I mean, I know I'm not familiar with a lot of the games with gold, but that one's... I have not even heard of any of those. No. I haven't heard of the Broken Sword series.
Samesies.
And there's apparently 5 of them at least.
Right? There's a few of those fuckers.
There's at least a couple, and I've never heard of any of them. Honestly, that makes me a little sad. I'm like, I feel like but again, they are giving it away for free, so...
I mean, if you're a Game Pass member, I'm pretty sure a bunch of Call of Duties just came to Game Pass and, like, Dishonored and stuff, so there's that.
Well, yeah. The PlayStation Plus ones look a lot better.
And then, on PlayStation Plus for February, we've got EA Sports UFC 4, Planet Coaster Console Edition, and Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, a Wonderlands one-shot adventure, which is already set to download on my console so that I can check that out before Wonderlands officially launches in next month, actually.
Actually, they did a really good job with their timing on that one. It's like, hey, get a little preview so that you know that you want to buy our game that's coming out next month.
Yeah, I believe that was already on Game Pass, but I might be wrong.
I'm going to try it out. Actually, I kind of want to play like Planet Coaster. I loved Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Well, then I guess I'll download it for you.
Because I don't know if I loved Roller Coaster Tycoon. I love blowing up roller coasters in Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts as much.
Well,
I just like making people sick.
You just like making them sick? Oh, you just like the rides way too intense?
way too intense. So when they get off, you just see everybody just going, "Ugh," and then you have to buy like 50 janitors just to clean up the mess.
What I always loved was really getting them like to enjoy a ride that I've designed that I can adjust it at some point in time mid-ride and just launch them right into the next park. Because if you get them into the park next door, it actually lowers their rating and not yours because the guests died in their park.
You would.
It's a good way to skip a lot of the goals. I'm just saying.
On to the big news of the weekend. Sony bought Bungie.
Didn't we just talk about a giant company buying another company and we still couldn't really make sense of it? Oh wait, it happened again.
It did. Except everything that I've seen from the Sony announcement is they don't plan on making anything Bungie plans on releasing console exclusive. They want everyone to still be able to play their games and everything. Namely Destiny. That's the big one, and it's been multi-platform, and they don't want to cut anyone off. This was only, I think, was a $6 billion deal.
I think 3.6.
3.6. This is a weird note, so I'm not sure. I was like 3 to 6 billion. What? But 3.6 bill sounds right. It's not on there because I added it on last minute. But yeah, I just thought that was like the big shock. I don't know if it was so much a shocker, but I was just like, oh, okay. So the thing that we've been talking about now for two episodes about like Microsoft and Sony just buying a bunch of companies is like now coming to fruition. Thoughts, opinions?
I have no opinions. No, honestly, this one doesn't really make a lot of sense. Bungie's really only got the one game. I mean, again, it's a huge, massive game that a lot of people play. But I don't know why Bungie would sell out, is really what it is. I mean, like, 3.6 billion is a lot of money. Yes, agreed. But I don't know why they'd sell out. They already severed a relationship with Microsoft because they didn't like being beholden to a big company and not being able to do what they want.
I don't know, maybe Sony's less restrictive with how they let games.
They weren't owned by Microsoft, I thought they were owned by Activision. Because it was
Bungie?
No, Bungie was owned by They were the original.
No, they were owned by Activision.
They owned by Activision?
Yeah, Bungie was never owned by Microsoft. They worked with Microsoft for Halo.
I guess
Microsoft paid for Halo's exclusivity and bought the rights of Halo.
I guess that is what happened there.
Yeah, bailed out after Halo. Was Reach the last one?
Reach, yeah.
For Bungie? Yeah. So they left after that, and then they got purchased by Activision Blizzard. And now we know why they were absolutely desperate to get the fuck away from Activision Blizzard.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're still basically, I believe it was phrased like they're an independent
It's most likely just like they got purchased by Sony as a way to protect themselves from being purchased by Microsoft.
Yeah.
We're doing really good this episode, guys.
So Bungie was its own independent studio working with Activision Blizzard under their name. And then once Activision Blizzard got purchased, Bungie said, fuck it, and then went to Sony and was like, hey, you want to buy us?
Not quite. So Bungie was owned by Activision for a time. They bought themselves out and kept the Destiny license.
Okay.
Yeah.
Microsoft acquired the studio in June of 2000, securing its then upcoming shooter Halo as an exclusive title for the original Xbox's 2001 launch. Bungie would regain its independence shortly after the launch of Halo 3 in October of 2007. It produced 2 more exclusive Halo games for the company, Halo 3 ODST and Halo Reach, before signing a 10-year deal with Activision that would lead to the creation of the Destiny franchise.
I knew they were owned by Microsoft at one point.
Okay, yeah. I guess it was for a very brief amount of time, but
6 years.
Comparatively, it's not very long.
Yeah, but under... so Sony has said that Bungie will remain a multi-platform studio with the option to self-publish and reach players wherever they choose to play. is the official quote.
I guess, they just want to give them some resources.
Like that, and Sony, it just sounds like they're trying to protect the company here.
Yeah.
They honestly, Bungie probably is like, hey, can you buy us just so Microsoft can't? Yeah.
Well, especially for how low it is and how big of a game Destiny is.
Oh, $3.6 billion with a B is a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, but
if it was $3.6 million, that wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, I guess compared
$3.6 billion is a lot.
I guess Peter's referencing the fact that the Microsoft acquisition of Activision was $70 billion. 3.6 is kind of on the lower scale.
Yeah, but they also have a lot more people and games and market share than Bungie does by itself.
Didn't you mention that the FTC is currently investigating that or looking into that acquisition?
Oh yeah, they want to make sure that they're not going to be a monopoly. And so I guess that hopefully that means that they're going to basically legally say that Microsoft can't make all of those titles Xbox exclusives.
Be a little funny.
Hey, so you can't do that? Say, this is not the first time the FTC is investigating Microsoft for being a monopoly, all right? So
all Sony has to do now is buy Ubisoft, and I think it'd be even.
They're right there, neck and neck.
I think I would prefer it, honestly, if Sony got Ubisoft. Just sounds like
over Microsoft, yeah.
Shit. I feel like Microsoft would just make them massively increase the amount of microtransactions in single-player games.
I don't think Sony would help a lot with that either. But everybody likes microtransactions, except for the people paying for the microtransactions. But they still get them because they're addicted to them hopelessly because the games are
true. But how many Sony exclusive games can you think of that are single-player only that have microtransactions?
Well, like I said, there's not a lot.
No.
I can't
think of big studios.
I can't think of any.
Exactly, none of them do. So we would not see any more, hey, buy this $20 experience booster for Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
No, don't you want to buy the $10 Meowster Chief skin?
Well, I think they just recently lowered the price on that.
Oh, boy.
Hey, once I can start earning the in-game currency in-game, then I'll come back and play again.
That's how they were able to acquire Activision.
You know what? I'm telling you. A lot of people bought those cat ear fucking helmets. Maybe not $70 billion worth, but quite a few.
Let's be perfectly honest. If Stephanie was playing that game, she would have bought them.
Not for $10. Maybe for like $3.
She would have bought them.
It's a $3 purchase to me.
If it came with a gun that also had a cat on it, maybe. But the gun...
Only...
Or if instead of bullet sounds, it made meow noises.
Yes. Then I would pay $10.
Okay, if there was like a death animation that it makes meow noises or something like that, yeah, that would.
Mew, mew, mew.
Well, because you can have your animation, like that's one of the things you can buy is that when you shoot somebody, they disappear like you shot them with a
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the weird robot dudes from Halo 4. Promethean weapons. There, Promethean.
Okay.
It looks like you shot them with a Promethean weapon, they disappear. If you did that, but if you shot them and like their head exploded like a grunt and it goes meow, I'd buy that. I'd pay $15 for that, honestly.
And then speaking of random animals, Pokemon Arceus did come out. Peter, did you have a chance to play it?
I've played it a little bit, but I would rather wait to talk about that until other people have, so I can get a lot of opinions and not just me talking about it.
All right, then we'll shelf that for now and move on to a segment.
I do have a quick question for Peter.
Go for it.
If I haven't played a Pokemon game since Pokemon Red, can I just jump right into this one?
Yes.
You'll probably have an easier time with it, actually, because it's a completely different type of game.
Yeah, it doesn't play like a traditional Pokemon.
Oh, is that what this one is? Okay, I actually hadn't even heard of this one, and then you told me it came out. I'm like, didn't one just fucking come out?
So, without getting too much into the game itself, so basically it seems like what's going to happen here on out is that there's going to be two different types of Pokemon games in the main entries. You're going to have the traditional Pokemon where it like Diamond, Pearl, ruby, sapphire, green, pink, purple, whatever the hell they're gonna call it, and then you're gonna have the Pokemon Legends series, which is this is the Pokemon Legends Arceus, that plays more like a single player Pokemon Go style adventure. Like, does that sound like a good description, Peter?
Like Skyrim with Pokemon?
Not the Pokemon Go part, but it's more like you're like a zoologist almost. It has such a lack of focus on combat. You're entirely just studying the Pokemon.
You're really just supposed to catch them all.
Yeah, you are not a trainer. You're someone studying Pokemon.
You're like a Professor Oak type.
Yeah, that's why I say kind of like Pokemon Go, where it's more about like going around and collecting Pokemon as opposed to.
No, I think there's like no combat whatsoever, pretty much.
No, there's still combat, but it's much less of because Pokemon Go. I don't know if you've played it recently, but it does have much more of a focus on combat now.
Oh, okay. I haven't played Pokemon Go in like 3 years.
Yeah.
Since
so
the
while there
summer
still
of Pokemon
is
Go.
like Pokemon battles in this game, it's much less frequently. There's no longer random encounters. They did away with that entirely. You aren't going to run into random enemy trainers while you're trying to get to the next gym. There's no gyms. There's no Pokemon League. You are not a Pokemon trainer. The scripted battles you can always see coming. Every time you go to a new area, you have to like prove yourself to the warden of that area by beating them in a battle. It's usually easy as shit. And then you kind of have the option to fight the big Pokemon there, but you don't have to at all. You can just throw the random like sedative thing that they give you added in. The game will always tell you, hey, you should pick a Pokemon and fight this thing, and I've ignored it every time with no comment.
Cool.
So you don't have to fight at all. Interesting.
No.
All right.
I mean, like I said, there's a few scripted ones that you have to do, but for the most part, not really.
Actually, that sounds kind
So
of fun.
you are going to catch, like, at least 20 of each Pokemon to try and fill up the fucking Pokedex entries.
So it's one of those.
Yeah.
I don't know. That still sounds kind of fun. At least you get to explore a little bit.
So I think currently I have, like, at least 200 of each type of Pokeball.
I don't think you're allowed
Because
to
of
hold
how
that
much you
many.
have to do that. It doesn't give a fuck anymore.
I know it's just a joke, but it's like I'm pretty sure you're gonna put some of those back in storage, bro.
Well, no. So your Pokemon, you're still capped at 6 at a time, and it isn't explained at all why. It's just like I think you can only carry like 6 at a time, but I'm not sure. Like that's the only explanation you get for it.
It's all that'll fit in your pockets, bro.
Yeah.
They don't make belts with more slots. They only come with 6 because that's
All
official.
right.
Gotta make sure that you hold them in the front.
All right.
Yeah. So this brings us to a segment we like to call Extra Bits.
Extra bits.
Yeah.
Who's got extra bits? I just got the regular amount.
So,
Y'all make this exact same joke.
you notice that I was trying to skip it and they just...
You tried real hard.
Okay, so...
I was holding it.
Up first, I've got an interesting one. So, in honor of Disneyland Paris's 30th anniversary, in combination with Women's History Month,
International Women's Month.
International Women's Month in March, Stella McCartney has designed a new outfit for Minnie Mouse, which is a cute little navy blue pantsuit, which I think it's super cute, and it's just in addition to her wardrobe and everything. Well, apparently Disney fans and the right-wing crazy people have lost their fucking minds over this.
That Minnie's in a pantsuit, yeah.
Yeah, like Candace Owens went on Fox News and was all like, "This is tearing apart the fabrics of society," and they just want you to look at this instead of focusing on the fact that it costs $30 to buy a piece of bacon. And I was like, what? another person was like freaking out because they're like, oh, they just made her look like Hillary Clinton. And I'm like, what? She's a cartoon mouse. Why are we freaking out?
We're ascribing a little too much power to this cartoon mouse.
Yeah, and then there was like a couple people that like came on and were like, I'm unsure how this is tearing the fabric of society when like the mouse has worn pants, and like they posted like a bunch of pictures of different points in time when Minnie Mouse has in fact worn pants. And the funny thing that I really think about this is like, because someone commented about like it's 100-year-old character and how dare you put her in pants, and it's like, so you're totally fine with when they brought back the retro Minnie who had no top. So topless Minnie Mouse is fine, but a pants wearing Minnie Mouse is going to break everything. And I didn't realize that, you know, we were going back to the time. I guess I'm not supposed to wear pants. I'm supposed to wear Victorian style dresses and not show my ankles or my neck. So I apologize. I must be showing too much skin in this video. But to couple with that, there was a George Takei tweet that was hilarious because I love George Takei, and his tweet is as follows. I want to see Pantsuit Minnie go on a date with the green M&M in Sensible Flats just to see Tucker Carlson lose the last of his sanity on air.
Because, yeah, everybody freaked out. Apparently they changed the M&Ms, too.
Yeah, they
didn't even check it. They just announced the green one was a lesbian.
No. They changed her. She's not wearing stilettos anymore. She's wearing a pair of sensible high heels.
Got it.
And now apparently the orange one will be I guess acknowledging his issues with anxiety so that they can all be more inclusive to each other.
So
it just sounds like a good friend group. I don't understand what the problem is.
Again, I'm just saying they apparently people freaked out because they're trying to make in a message of inclusivity. The M&Ms we're going to be changing the characterizations of our anthropomorphic M&Ms.
Yeah, but the thing that I thought was funny about it was just, you know, them freaking out about this. And to me, it's like, especially the news cycle. I mean, 24-hour news is a problem anyway, because that's how these things get out of hand, is because they have nothing else to talk about. And it's like, you do realize that if you didn't talk about it and make a big deal of it, like it
wouldn't be a thing.
No one would give a shit. Now this might be her only design. And I will say, I looked at it. I actually like it. I hope it is her only design ever.
Well, it's not. Like, they said it's
No, I understand that's what they said. I'm saying they should spite it and make this her only design.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to the
I wouldn't be able to go away from the red and white polka dots. I'm like, she's always got to come back to the red and white polka dots. Come on.
If you go to the link that it's going to be in the show notes and everything, and you scroll down, like, it actually shows there's several pictures of different times she's worn different outfits and pants and shorts, and I'm like, I don't understand why this particular.
Heck, she was in a gi in one of them. She's kicking some ass, doing some karate.
But whatever. And then my last bit for this week is a shout out to my Supernatural fans. So Richard Speight Jr. and Rob Benedict are hosting a podcast called Supernatural Then and Now, available on all of your favorite podcasting apps. And they're basically doing a rewatch of the show, starting with the pilot, and they're bringing on different people from the cast and crew to talk about the episodes and go into deep dives. And you all know that I'm a pretty huge Supernatural fan, and I'm actually learning things that I didn't know and hearing stories I've never heard before.
Which is saying something.
Yeah, because I am pretty obsessed. Don't worry, Tom, I already let your girlfriend know, or fiance know about the show, and she's pretty excited too. But yeah, if you're I
guess that's joining the small army of other shows that have already done that.
But they're actually it's two of the main actors from the show, and then they're bringing other people in from the show to do that one.
That's absolutely a thing that other shows have done.
I'm not saying it's a novel idea, but it's a neat one. It's good. There you go. If you like the show, there you go. Check it out.
It's just like, wow, there's been a lot of those that have started.
Yeah, I mean, there's that one.
God.
There's the
It's a lot cheaper not to make real new content.
Right.
A civilized, a more civilized age, which is they're going through specifically the Clone Wars, but they started with Star Wars Episode 1. And that show is also, if you're a Star Wars fan, like specifically Clone Wars fan, that's definitely a good listen. They're friggin' hilarious. So that's
They're okay.
something to listen to.
Yeah.
You should listen to us.
I just meant that there have been a lot of those types of shows that have started recently, and I'm not against any of them. It's essentially just how they're doing commentary for TV shows now.
It does seem like a new trend that's coming around.
Happening. Yeah, because The Office had started doing it. They have it for Avatar: The Last Airbender. They've got it for Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Well, a lot of it started because everyone was, in lockdown and had nothing better to do. So.
Oh no, it makes a lot of sense. Oh yeah, because they do have the It's Always Sunny podcast now too, with the three main guys, right?
Yeah, all three of them.
Actually, I should listen to that.
It's really good. They topped like Audible for a while, or was it Spotify for podcast, and they outdid I think Joe Rogan's show.
Oh shit!
At it.
There are a lot of It's Always Sunny fans out there.
There's a lot of them, yeah.
I haven't watched this newest season.
It's pretty good. It's real short, but it's really good.
Peter, you're up.
They released the dice game from Assassin's Creed Valhalla for an actual physical release. It's called Orlog. It's a lot of fun. You might have hated that actual game, but the dice game is.
Is it like Gwen in The Witcher?
No, because Gwen's
No, but I mean, it was a game that you played in the game.
It was a fully playable game in the game. It was a game within a game, all that. No, it was a random dice game they introduced you to early on, and there's always a new player in every new settlement you get into. It was really popular. They started it as a Kickstarter. It did way better than they thought they would, so they just put it up for sale on the Ubisoft website.
Nice. Tomas!
Also, left, so that's...
Mine are pretty easy. One is just a clip of a successful one-night stand. The most successful. And then I have two other clips about Steven Seagal. I went down a rabbit hole and found Steven Seagal rabbit holes.
Oh, jeez.
You went down a Steven Seagal rabbit hole? That's not good.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous one, I imagine.
It was pretty funny because Steven Seagal back in the day was like that
a
heavy, cool combat star. He was just skinny and he's like, oh yeah, I know Aikido or whatever the fuck he does, where you just basically topple somebody over with their own weight or some crap, which is bullshit. It's a bullshit martial arts bullshit. But I ended up watching a lot of his stuff and it was hilarious. And then I think I saw his most recent movie, and he has to be like 300 pounds.
Oh, he's huge.
And he's literally he's supposed to be holding like a rifle instead of having the butt of the gun like up on his shoulder. It's like up here, near his ear, and he's just like this. And like the whole movie, you don't watch him like walk more than like 10 feet.
He's supposed to be like an actual law enforcement officer now too.
Yeah, and he's an actual law enforcement officer. Yeah,
like in real life, like
in real life, yes.
Like in America.
Yeah, and I don't know how he even passed the physical exam half the time.
He has gotten enormous.
And then one of the clips that I sent on there was South Park making fun of him.
Oh god,
just like...
that's a great one. They get mean.
They do.
It was good.
South Park.
So yeah, those are my bits.
I like your bits.
Zachary.
I think she only put one in the notes. There we go. Mandalorian has a new Lego set. They're doing a Lego set based on the Mandalorian, and it's the hallway scene with Luke fucking up the Dark Troopers, and you can now buy that as a Lego set. And I only say that, one, because I'm like, okay, that actually does look kind of cool. You can actually kind of display that one. But two, why the fuck don't we have one from Rogue One with Darth Vader fucking up some rebel soldiers in a hallway? I'm just saying. Now I'm a little disappointed. You could have done an epic hallway scene. Where's Darth? But then the other one is, I think we talked about a bit about the controversy when it originally showed up, that they did a new Lego set with Boba Fett's Starship, which is generally called the Slave One, but they changed the name of it to Fire Spray Starship.
Yeah.
Which they also did. They did not call it Slave One in the Book of Boba Fett.
No.
He kept just saying that he needed to get his fire spray away from Jabba's palace. And I mean, like, I sort of get it, but I also, like, I don't really get it. It's just the name of the ship is Slave One. He wasn't actually keeping slaves in that thing. He was taking bounties. That's a much different thing. Those are bad people that need to be brought in, not just people.
I don't know.
But anyway, but now apparently partly due to that controversy and partly due to other factors, it's at an all-time low price. You can get it for like $30 right now. You can get a fucking Slave One for like $30, which is way cheaper than I've ever seen it before. And I'm thinking about buying some Legos, but I know I don't need it and I shouldn't spend the money.
Do it.
I'm looking into one right now.
I'm telling you, Walmart and Amazon apparently. So everybody knows Walmart and Amazon. Wait until we get ours before you buy yours.
Go do it right now. What are you doing?
I'm not buying it. It costs money. I don't need it.
I mean, it's only $3. You get Mando and Boba.
You get Mando and Boba.
I didn't say it wasn't a good deal. I just said I don't need it.
Get it before it goes back up.
I just said I wanted it.
And with that, a new 8-Bit Cat Show will be out next Friday, as long as nothing goes horribly wrong. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can support us on Patreon. We appreciate any support you can throw our way. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram, where you can see lots of pictures of the Meow Meows. Until next time, geek out, be fabulous, and have fun.
Bye.
Someone's selling the Slave One for $650 already.
Yeah, that was like the first one on the Amazon list. But if you just scroll down a little, there's like the $30 and $40 ones.
Yeah.
Hey, so the 8-Bit Cat Show's not just about cats. It's also about a bunch of nerdy shit that we're talking about all the time. So please support us on Patreon so that we can get an actual cat.